So this day started with an incredible parade, with a Hall of Fame announcement. We've got incredible exhibitors. We've got Mars rovers. We've got a Nobel Prize winner. I just came from his presentation up there about how discoveries in science are made, which is incredible. And it was amazing because a lot of the points he brought up about how important discoveries in science are made, things that change the world, are practices that you guys all use to build your robots. And it was really inspiring to hear it. And then watching the video, it makes you think back. 5 years ago, when this all started, we were actually here in California. This started at Cal State Northridge. There were only about 80 teams. It won't be a lot of you, but clap if you were at Cal State Northridge 5 years ago. Those of you who weren't there, you don't know how far this has come. This is a big jump from 5 years ago. We went to Dallas, we went to Orlando, and it brings us back here to California. It's pretty amazing to think that right now, 5 years later, the middle schools and high schools here are making up the largest middle school and high school robotics program in the world. So I get asked a lot, how'd this happen in 5 years? How'd you get this big? How's it growing so fast? Why are so many schools starting teams? There's a lot of small answers. There's a lot of things that add up to that. But the one that has the most to do with it is people. It's the people in the program. It's the people involved. We met a lot of them this morning. We celebrated the teachers, the mentors, the volunteers. There's another little group, the students. Let's hear it for the students. So on the volunteers, it does take a lot of volunteers to make this happen. We've got a really great group of volunteers that work on this year-round, that work on this game year-round. They volunteer their time. They put a lot of work into it. So before we get to what's behind this curtain here, I'd like to introduce the people who worked since before last year's game, over a year, designing what you're about to see. You guys want to meet the game design committee? I'm going to call them out one at a time. Please welcome from Chrysler, Mr. Jim Zondag. From DWA, the makers of the Tournament Manager software, Mr. Mike Suka. From Intelitech, Dan LaRochelle. From Project Lead the Way, Sam Cox. And from the Robotics Education and Competition Foundation, from Michigan, Mr. Mike Martis. Alright, so they're going to help us out. They've been working really hard. I think they've come up with something pretty cool. Always something a little different. But I want to make sure you seem like you're kind of into it, but I know we got 3 different groups here. College teams. Are you ready to see the new game? College teams, do you want to see it? That's all right, but the other kids, I think. Middle school teams. Do you guys want to see a new game? Do we have some high school teams here that want to see a new game? It's a little unfair to the college teams. They're outnumbered about 10 to 1 here, so very good though. So how about, this program's all about the people. How about we all do this together? Let's count down from 10, join the game design committee. Let's see the new game. You guys ready? All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There it goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Vex Sack Attack!
Oh God. Oh God.
It's a beautiful game we have here. Very simple to play. There's 3 ways you can score. You can put one of your sacks on an alliance starting tile. You can drop it in one of these goals, or you can go up high, all the way to the top.
Teams
But
all.
there's more so than that. Just watch out, there's green bags, but there's 4 special bonus bags, and they're worth a lot more.
Teams also get a 5-point bonus for being on their alliance starting tile at the end of the match. Fully on their alliance starting tile. With a little twist. The alliance that has the most robots on their starting tile will get a 5-point bonus. So I think most teams are going to want to end their match right here.
But John, while you're ending your match right there, I'm going to come right here and do one of those. Because guess what, guys? The scoring is back. There's a lot of new things in Sack Attack. A lot of new dynamics, a lot of new strategies. And to better help us learn how to play the game, let's take a look at this game animation.
Welcome to the 2012 VEX Robotics Competition and this year's game, VEX Sack Attack. Sack Attack is played with 5-inch square cloth sacks filled with plastic pellets. There are green game sacks and yellow bonus sacks. Sack Attack is played on a 12 by 12 foot field covered by foam tiles. 98 sacks and 4 bonus sacks are distributed around the field. Alliances of 2 teams each operate their robots from control stations at the sides of the field. The field is divided by a set of troughs elevated 15 inches above the floor. There are 3 types of goals in Sack Attack: floor goals, troughs, and high goals. The objective of the game is to get as many points as you can by placing sacks and bonus sacks in the goals. The colored alliance starting tiles are the floor goals. A sack scored in the floor goal is worth 1 point, and a bonus sack scored here is worth 6 points. The elevated scoring troughs are the mid-level goals. A sack scored in the trough is worth 5 points, and a bonus sack in the trough is worth 10 points. The high goals are located 30 inches above the floor. A sack scored in the high goal is worth 10 points, and a bonus sack in the high goal is worth 15 points. The alliance with the most points at the end of the autonomous period gets a 10-point bonus, and the alliance with the most robots touching one of its own floor goals at the end of the match receives a 10-point bonus. The match begins with each robot on their alliance starting tile. Each robot may be preloaded with 1 sack. A 15-second autonomous period starts the match. During the autonomous period, robots can score sacks using pre-programmed instructions. At the end of this period, the drivers take over the controls. Each alliance gets 4 sacks to use as driver control loads during the driver-controlled period. As the driver-controlled period starts, teams command their robots to score as quickly as they can. When designing your robots, remember that the sacks can be real obstacles. Sacks that leave the playing field will be returned at the point where they exited. Good luck, and we'll see you at the competitions.
STEM Hall of Fame member, Mr. Dave Lavery of NASA, put together such an amazing game animation. Now, we want to draw your attention to some things that are a little bit
something we've had a lot of requests for. The game was finished early. The field was finished early. The scoring objects were finished early. And they are all available for purchase right now at this event if you want them.
Something else that's pretty cool about all of this. How many of you have one of these? An iPhone or an Android phone? Because guess what? We made a tool to make that back attack that much easier for you. Take a look at the screen. What? Oh. That's right. We now have our game manual and a score calculator online available for you to download to your phone. You can look up any rules, you can search a word. If you have any questions, you're going to find out right now. Because in the next robotics competition, we're cutting edge and we're moving forward into the future. It's pretty awesome stuff. I played with it. It's wicked. Look how easily you can find stuff. That's amazing. No more thumbing through binders, no more printing all this stuff out. And if you ever want to find out what the score is, just boom, 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 use the score calculator. It's right there for you. Boom, boom, pow indeed. It is pretty sweet stuff up there.
One other thing we want to draw your attention to, related to the robot rules. We've decided to open things up a little bit this year. You're still only allowed to use 10 motors on your robot, but you can use whichever VEX motors you like. Go right ahead. But you need to be careful, because using a bigger, higher power, higher current draw motor is not always the best solution. You need to be careful and cognizant of engineering trade-offs in your robot design.
So, I got one question for you. What do you think of Sack Attack? So, I know everyone's very excited for the new season and the new game, but let's not forget, VEX Gateway is not over. In fact, the best day of VEX Gateway is coming up tomorrow. We're going to finish up our qualification matches, we're going to play our elimination rounds, and we are going to find out who really is champion of the world! Everyone go home, get some sleep, come on back tomorrow for the real party! Woo!